I've already made videos about this sort of topic on my channel. You can find several if you search how to say I want. But I did want to highlight a specific question that I often get, and something I think a lot of learners have difficulty with, and that is how to say that you want something. And there are several different verbs or grammar forms that you should be aware of, so let's just start with the simplest one. And that is 원하다, and it's just an action verb that means simply to want. And in fact, this one is so straightforward that it's the first verb that I introduce in my book series, Korean Made Simple, because it's really easy just to learn and start using right away. So if you wanted to say you want kimchi, you could just say 김치를 with the object marker, 김치를 원해요. Now, you can say this, it's grammatically correct, but it might not be the verb that you want to use because it is quite, again, it's direct, it's straightforward, and it sounds a bit strong, kind of like, I want kimchi. So because of that, this verb is often used in songs. So if they wanted to say something like, I want you, and they want it to be direct, they would just say, 너를 원해, for example. But although this is a bit direct, so it's kind of strong sounding, this one is very useful when it's used as an adjective. Whenever you are using this verb, to want, to describe something, so you're saying like the thing that I want, or what I wanted was, whenever you're using it like that, like an adjective, that is the most natural verb to use, and it's commonly used. For example, if you wanted to make the sentence, what I want most is kimchi, you could say, 제가 원하는 것은 김치예요, like that, or whatever you like. So feel free to use 원하다 in any sort of adjective form. Now, this doesn't mean that you'll only see it as 원하는. You also might see it in other variations like 원하던 for the past tense. Just be aware that this is perfectly normal in this sort of usage. But again, to clarify, using this verb to say that you want something like this is not going to be very natural. Okay, the next form we're going to talk about is a grammar form, and that is 고 싶다. Now, this grammar form is not used by itself. It's not a verb like 원하다. This one attaches directly to a verb stem. So if you have the verb 하다, well, the verb stem of 하다 is just 하, you remove the 다, and you're left with 하고 싶다, which you can then conjugate. And this one doesn't mean that you want something. Again, it's used with verbs. This one means that you want to do whatever verb comes before it. So if you take the verb 먹다, for example, to eat, you get 먹고 싶다, which is the verb which means to want to eat. Again, when you're using this form, you're not saying that you want that noun that comes before it, you're saying you want to do that verb. So I want to eat, or I want to go, or I want to whatever verb, that is what it's emphasizing. So if you wanted to have kimchi, you couldn't just say 김치 고 싶어요 because kimchi is not a verb, but you could say 김치 먹고 싶어요. So I want to eat kimchi. Again, 고 싶다 is a grammar form that attaches directly to an action verb stem. So it means that you want to do whatever action verb comes before it. So if you want to say that you want something and you want a natural way to say it, this is what you're going to need. 가지고 싶다 or 갖고 싶다. It's the same thing, just shortened. What is this? Well, this comes from the verb 가지다. And 가지다 means to have something or hold something or even carry something. And it can also shorten to 갖다, which is why you have two versions. So all it is this verb to have something, hold something, or carry something with the want to grammar on top of it. So you want to have something. Now, this verb, you might recognize it. 가지다 is often found in this construction, 가지고 있다, to say that you have something. So I currently have a cell phone, or I have a pen, or anything like that. But this is the same verb you can also use to say that you want something. So then let's think about this. Yes, 가지고 싶다 means you want to have something, but again, it's literal. You want to have something, you want to hold it, or you want to carry it. You want to be able to put it in your pocket. That's sort of have. So because of that, you can't simply use 가지고 싶다 whenever you want to say in English, I want something, because there are different meanings to want in English. For example, you wouldn't use this one to say you want a pet. Oh, I wish I had a dog. I want a dog. Well, when you say you want a dog, you don't really mean you want to hold it right now. You want to carry it, put it in your pocket. You're saying that you want to raise it. You want to buy it, perhaps. In which case, you wouldn't even use this. You would instead use the verb 키우다, which means to raise. So you could say 키우고 싶다, 키우고 싶어요. I want to raise. That would be like, I want to have an animal, a pet. But with our kimchi example, you could say 김치를 가지고 싶어요. But again, what would that mean? In English, you might think, I want to have kimchi. Sounds okay. But in Korean, that would literally mean I want to have like a jar of kimchi right now. I want to have a jar of kimchi. That's not what you mean when you say I want to have kimchi. You mean I want to eat kimchi. In which case, you wouldn't use this for any sort of food. When you want to have it, you would just use the regular verb 먹다. 김치를 먹고 싶어요. I want to eat kimchi. Literally, I want to have kimchi. So just keep in mind which verb you're using with this 고 싶다 form because it'll have a different meaning. So to keep it simple, if you're talking about a pet, some sort of animal you want, 키우다. If you're talking about a food you want, 먹다. If you're talking about just an object, any sort of thing, an item that you want, 가지고 싶다. So a new cell phone, or I want a pen, or I want a backpack. Or my Korean learning textbook series, Korean Made Simple, 가지고 싶다. So you can use 가지고 싶다 to say that you want any sort of thing, and 고 싶다 to say that you want to do any action. Okay, so that's it for the lesson, but did you know that this series, Korean FAQ, is mostly based on questions from viewers like yourself? So if you have a question, please let me know in the comments. I do check all of them and they might make it into a future episode. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see you in the next episode. 그럼 다음에 또 봐!